I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heslin with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Friday night card, August the 5th program at Hastings. We do 7 races on the Friday night program, starts at 7 o'clock. We do not race Saturday this weekend, but we do race Sunday, 8 more races on the Sunday program. So that'll be our weekend of racing, 7 on the Friday and 8 on the Sunday.
Yeah, this is our schedule for the next few weeks. We will be running Friday nights and Sunday days, and this is our second Friday night. Our first Friday night of this season was an absolute success.
It was awesome.
Really, I like running under the lights. Takes me back to my childhood. As Mike mentioned, 7 races on tap, and the Sea to Sky Pick 6 carryover currently just a hair over $92,000. That starts in the second race. Let's jump right into the first race. This is a maiden 16 event for older colts and geldings, going 6.5 furlongs. Sorry, for girls, not for, this is for fillies and mares, I should have said, not for older colts and geldings. I went to the 5, Princess Soprado, for Mike Anderson. I thought a good second last time behind Oasis Wells, who jumped up at the Troy Taylor barn, ran a big race. Got a 57 buyer. That's towers over the rest of the field. I like Princess Soprado to win it. I think the main danger would be the 4, Velvet Rose, who had a marked improvement in her second race. She ran once for Craig McPherson, ran 5th, came back in the same race as Princess Soprado. Finished a few weeks behind her, but took a big step forward, and she could take another step forward in this one. Dennis Arrojo rides for Craig McPherson. I threw Notice to Jewel out of the Taylor Anderson barn. Comes out of that same race as these horses, but that was her first race, and I could see her taking a step forward in her second race, a 3-year-old daughter of Stefan Otis out of the good mare Diamond Berries. So good breeding there. I went 5, 4, and 6.
Yeah, I have the same 3. I don't have a lot to add. I went to the 4, Velvet Rose on top. I thought this horse made a marked improvement from race number 1 to race number 2, and I think the improvement scale is going the right way. And Princess Soprado, I mean, you're not getting a lot of odds there, but I don't think you get a lot of big price on any of the bottom 3 horses. But still, Princess Soprado will be overbet and has lost a few races in a row. She could win, but I just want to try and beat her at 4 to 5. I went Velvet Rose to defeat Princess Soprado, and I put the 6, Notice to Jewel. I could see her winning as well. That was just her first start, as you mentioned. She could improve. I went 4, 5, 6 in the Friday night opener on race number 2. $8,000 claimers. None was a 2 lifetime. None was a 3. Pardon me, lifetime. Going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 3, Born at the Track. I took a big jump up last time to 16. I know it was just a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was a pretty good effort. And this horse, PS Diamond Cutter, Flicker of Luck, those are better horses, and I just think Born at the Track might be able to get the lead in here and be pretty dangerous. There's not a lot of speed in the race, and I just think Born at the Track with Richard Hamill and Peter Melbourne can get the job done. But the 4-horse, Forestry's Devil, kind of always followed this horse at this same tag. Continues to just hit the board and run good race. If it continues not to win, though, which is a little alarming. And I put the 2, Peace Arch, another one that's been this condition for a long time, doesn't win, sneaks, looks like he's going to win, but doesn't win. So I put him in for 3rd. I went 3, 4, 2.
I got the same 3 horses. I did put Peace Arch on top. As you mentioned, I just think it sets up for him. I think there's not a lot of speed. He can be close. And Rob Gilchrist's putting together a good year, and his horses are starting to run. So I put Peace Arch on top of Born on the Track, your top pick. He's logical in here, coming out of, as you mentioned, much tougher race with Kriya's Flicker Luck, PS Diamond Cutter, and Forestry's Devil in the 3rd spot. Same horses, different order. I went 2, 3, and 4 in the second. On to the 3rd. 4,000. Non-winners of 3 lifetime, going 6.5 furlong. 4 boys, field of 7 here. I went to the 3, no wise guy pick here. Let's have a double, just missed last time. Led the whole way and just got caught late by Bridge Baron and Stallman Pete. I don't see a lot of speed in here to go with him. I think he gets the lead, and Silvino Morales is going to be able to dictate the pace. I like Let's Have a Double on top of Mr. Candy, who has been well backed in his last few races. They put the blinkers on today. I like the fact that Hamill sticks with him, so I put him in the 2nd spot, Mr. Candy. And I put Stone Ridge Ruler. Harold Bearby's horse has been running very good lately, and this guy's dropping out of those. The 8s are markedly tougher than the $4,000 races. Rosie's Notice, Brother Duster, Shoe Swap, Tucci. Those races are much tougher. When those horses generally make down to the $4,000 level, they're extremely tough. So I put him in the 3rd spot for Hall of Fame trainer Harold Bearby. 3, 2, 6 for me.
I have the same 3, but I did put Stone Ridge Ruler on top. Perhaps not a mile and a 16th horse. If you go back to his last sprint, pretty impressive behind Shuswap, who came back to
only
win
gets
in the
beat
starter
3/4,
series. I mean, this Stone Ridge Ruler is a nice sprinter, and Jeff Birmingham seems to get along with him well. He's back aboard today. I just thought he might be like reasonably close to the pace. There's not a lot of speed in here, and I don't think Stone Ridge Ruler has to drop way back. But I think he can get a good trip. So I like Stone Ridge Ruler to defeat the 2 Mr. Candy and the 3 Let's Have a Double. We've had a lot of chances and are definitely very live in here. Don't get me wrong. Mr. Candy and Let's Have a Double are top chances in this race. But I thought Stone Ridge Ruler coming out of the better races.
Yeah.
And his last sprint against Shuswap. Could Mr. Candy or Let's Have a Double have been second to Shuswap at that level that day? I don't know. I don't think so.
Only get beat 3/4.
I like Stone Ridge Ruler. 6-2-3 for me in the third race. On to race number 4, $25,000 3-year-olds here going 6.5 furlongs. I see a boatload of speed on in here. I really wanted to make the 3, keep right on a winner. For my wife Barbara. I can see the horse winning just because he's not the best. He's not the best horse. There are a lot of nice horses in here, but they all have the same running style. I put Keep Right On in for second. I did put the 7 Coulterberry, who I think might be the one that might be able to endure through a tough pace, which it should be with Mighty Mesa, Power Corrupt. I think with blinkers on is going to send. Circus Ride is fast. Silent Native's quick. Coulterberry and his stablemate Pfeiffer are both very quick. Just seems like the whole field wants to run off to the front end. The only one that wants to be lazy early is the 3 Keep Right On. And that might be the running style. That might be the right running style. Might get him the win, even though he is not as gifted as some of these other horses. But I think Coulterberry might be the one that could endure like a 21-4, 45-1 opening half and still keep going. He ran against some pretty nice horses in his last couple of starts, and I think he's worth following. And I put the 8-horse Pfeiffer, who looked great in his maiden run and was very game in his victory, but still, this is a big class change for him. I went 7-3-8. I left Silent Native out, who's live, who just keeps running good races. A Mighty Mesa just finished winning a maiden special. Tough little race here, but I went 7-3-8.
I actually went with Pfeiffer. I was impressed with his first start, and he's on the outside, and as you mentioned, lots of speed, so I could see Antonio Reyes tucking him in behind horses.
That's the key, whether he's going to be 5 wide or tucked in.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that Reyes, who's having a strong meet, because there was so much speed to his inside, that he lays back. But I like Pfeiffer. I think he's got a lot of upside. He's a Rosberg out of a stakes win, Mary Answer with victory. So I put Pfeiffer on top of Ebony Warrior. Ebony Warrior's a nice horse. He's got 2 starts this year. They weren't very good. He's bad in the gate. But when he was running, that's when kind of all Troy Taylor's horses weren't running very good. And his horses have had a big turnaround, and they've been running good of lately, so I'm going to keep him in there. I put Ebony Warrior in the second spot. And I put Kluche's other horse, Coulterberry, in the third spot. He's definitely got the talent.
He's the best horse. Oh, him and Ebony Warrior, actually, you're right. Ebony Warrior and Coulterberry, probably the best, the most accomplished horses with their resumes. And
I like that work that Coulterberry comes in here with on July 30th and 47 flat. So I went 8, 6, and 7. I went to the outside in the 4th race. On to the 5th, maiden special weight for 3-year-old nut colts and geldings, but there is an abundance of girls.
There's 5 and 5, I think, in here. 5 fillies, 5 colts, or 5 geldings.
You're right, 5 and 5. I went to my top picks are 2 boys. Sergeant Rick, huge improvement from his first start to his second start. Just missed behind Mighty Mesa. Only gets beat a half a length and really showed something. I know John was fairly high on this horse, and I think he is a nice horse. He's a Rosberg out of the great mare Juvie Hall. Ran pretty flat in his first race, but last time I was really impressed with his running. He was quite wide and was flying at the end. So I got Sergeant Rick on top, as good as they get, who figures to be right there. He's been tackling all the best horses around. Can't seem to break his maiden, though, and he's going to be a short price. I'm trying to beat him with Sergeant Rick, but good as they get in the second spot. And I put Cool Candy of the Dave Forrester barn. A 3-year-old filly that has had trouble getting a straight maiden race. Now she enters a maiden race. Ran against winners last time. Ran into Omi and Coco Gogo, some pretty nice fillies in her first start of her life. And it was encouraging. Ran a good third and was closing really well at the end. Early on, it looked like she wasn't really going to be part of the race, but nice closing move. So I don't mind her in here. She's going to be priced under Dennis Arrojo. I went 9, 10, and 8.
I absolutely did not like this race at all. It's a real wide open affair. I mean, I can cross off a few, but I mean, the 10 is good as they get is, to me, the best horse, but he drew poorly. The 9 Sergeant Rick improved nicely, but he drew poorly. Yeah. These are both beatable horses. There's nothing that makes you, gives you the confidence that they're going to win today. And they will run good, but are they going to win?
Yeah.
Neither one from the 9 and
Can
10
you
hole
totally
can
hang your hat
actually
on 'em, yeah.
grab them and say, I'm keying this one. You
Yeah.
can't. The 7 Santa War running, it's up slightly in class. I think he's really alive in here just because of his running style. He can come from off the pace. The horse that beat him did come back and win a maiden special, and Mighty Mesa. So I just think this horse is interesting as well. The 2-horse, Tormenta Negra, I didn't pick him top 3, or her top 3. This filly has been working lights out in the morning. So I watched her paddock school today. She looked great. She's a good-looking filly. You got to have her in.
Yeah.
I mean, if picking 4 horses here, I'm definitely going 2, 7, 9, 10. Not necessarily in that order, but it's a good field. Cool
Yeah,
Candy,
this is a
your
good race.
dad's horse, is really nice. It's just a little tricky how the race is going to unfold. But I went 10, 9, and 7 with honorable mention the 2, Tormenta Negra, who is a pretty live 4-year-old first-time starter for Milton Palmer. On to the 6th race. Fillies and mares here, 6250 claimers going a mile and a 16th. The 7-horse I'm a Diva 2 is getting out of these silly starter races that she's just,
Can't be perfectly reckless,
they're sprints now.
Yeah.
They go 2 sprints, a long, and then 2 sprints, which is, counterproductive, but whatever. That's the way the series is. And I'm a Diva 2 is getting out of the series and getting into where she belongs, into these 6250s. I think she's live going along. So I went I'm a Diva 2 over the 8, Shayla's Rose, another one getting out of the series that, is had some issues. She had some issues in the gate last time. I had
Yeah.
a lot of trouble loading her. And
She was scratched once in the gate. And then
Yeah.
last time again, she did have trouble in the gate. Yeah.
and I put I'm going to put third, the 6-horse Moonride, who's, I don't know, going a mile and 16th. Never seen her go along for a while. I think, but at this level, she's pretty dangerous at the
Yeah.
6250 level. I think she's a pretty cool mare that hooking into some tough ones at the 4,000 level. I believe in Angels, pretty nice horse for $4,000, and it didn't go all that well. I just think that, a daughter of Candy Rug must be able
To run long, yeah.
move on and be, do some good things at a mile and 16. So I put her in for third. But I do like Amadiva 2 and Shayla's Rose. I think those are the top 2. The rest are just interchangeable. Maybe Rachel Run, but I went 7, 8, and 6.
I agree with Amadiva 2 on top, as you mentioned. She's running very good in those starter series. This is a markedly easier race for her. So I got her on top. I put a Handicappers in the second spot. Absolutely crushed last time for 4,000. She's good going long. 4 of her 6 wins lifetime have been at today's distance. And she's just coming in here on a high. So I threw her in the second spot, and I put Shayla's Rose, another one, as you mentioned, coming out of the starter series for Teddy Hurt. She's live in here, too. I put her in the third spot. I went 7, 2, and 8 in the sixth. On to the nightcap, 7th race. This is a maiden 4,000 for Fillies Mares, going a mile 16th. I went with Go-Go Eileen for Rob Mabin. Just couldn't quite catch Oski, who was a big dropper of the Dino Conolinos barn last time. Ran into a tough filly there, but was clear of her stablemate, Feel No Shame. And I like Go-Go Eileen here. That was against the boys as well. Now she's back in against the girls. I think Go-Go Eileen is going to be very tough in here. I got her on top of Whippoorwill Song, who's the only one that I think that can challenge her. If she goes back to that race 2 back where she only got beat a length by Forest Bliss for 12.5, she's going to be a handful. She's taking the big drop. Richard Hamill sticks with her for Barbheads. Top connections there. I got Whippoorwill Song in the second spot. And I threw Holly Hollywood in, the daughter of Masqueretta. She's, been running okay going long. Good second behind Leading Lady, who was very tough. And right back again for 4,000 going long. She should be a handful in here. But I really like 4 and 7, and I threw Holly Hollywood in for third. I went 4, 7, 6.
I saw the race the same way. Go-Go Eileen coming out of a race against her male counterparts. Oshki was well met on the class drop, and she still fought on well and was only beaten last on a length. Getting back in against the girls, she got to be pretty dangerous. The 7 Whippoorwill Song, as you mentioned, is the only one that might be able to threaten. She was a good second to Forest Bliss, then ran against winners last time. It was a little tough. Obviously no races going in certain categories, and opted to run her for 4 now, and Richard Hamill does stick with her. And I put the 8 Ziggy Meister, who's on the board all the time. I'll give that one a shot for third. But I think of the winners, I think 4, 7, 7, 4. But I went 4, 7, 8. To close out the Friday night program at Hastings, up next on screen will be a quick, we'll have our little bingo balls up there. They come, our recap of our selections on the Friday night program. Back in race number 1, I went to the 4, Velvet Rose, 4, 5, 6. Race number 2, the 3, Born at the Track, over the 4, Forest Cheese Devil, and the 2, Peace Arch. Race number 3, I went to the 6, Stone Ridge Ruler. I'm going to go 6, 2, and 3 in the 3rd. Race number 4, I went to the 7, Coulterberry, but a very tough race. Probably one of the toughest races on the card. It's a race where there's 5 or 6 speed horses, no real proven closers. It's a tough one. 7, 3, 8 for me in the 4th. On to the 5th race, another little tricky event. I did go to the 10, Good As They Get, over the 9, Sergeant Rick, and the 7, Sanowar. Race number 6, I went to the 7, I'm a Diva 2. I like her a lot. I think 7 and 8 are your horses in here. I went 7, 8, and 6. And then the 7th and final might be a key. The 4, Go Eileen, over the 7, Whippoorwill Song. 4, 7, 8 for me.
Up next on 3 will be my picks. There we go. Back in the 1st, I went to the 5, Princess Oprada, over the 4 and the 6. Second race, I went to number 2, Peace Arch, over the 3 and the 4. The 3rd race, number 3, Let's Have a Double, over the 2 and the 6. The 4th race, I went to the outside horse, Pfeiffer, over the 6 and the 7. The 5th race, the maiden special weight, I went to the 9, Sergeant Rick, over the 10 and the 8. In the 6th, I agree with Mike on number 7, I'm a Diva 2, over the 2 and the 8. And again, in the last, I'm with Mike with number 4, Go Eileen, over the 7 and the 6.
Well, that'll do it for this edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Barn Grill. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Just a quick reminder, our next live card is Sunday, August the 7th, 150 post. We do have 8 races on tap, and of course, the $92,000 Sea to Sky Pick 6 carryover that will start in race number 2 at Hastings, which will go about 7:30. I'm going to give you some time. I think it'll be 7:35 or something. But shoot for 7:30. But if you want to get them wagers in, 20-cent wager. You got to be the only winner to win the jackpot. But still, lots of money will be going into it. And even you were fortunate enough to get
nip around 100 grand, I'd say.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be over.
It'll be over 100 grand.
Yeah, it'll be but still, a very interesting wager. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You might be able to take home a lot of money at the end of the day. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Barn Grill.